So the basic idea of duality is that it is a mathematical construct. First of all, we should be clear in understanding that two dual circuits do not necessarily represent each other in a way that, for example, we studied with source transformations. Supposing I consider the case of source transformation, then I know that if supposing I have a voltage source V and some series resistance R, then the equivalent source transformation is that I have a current source now, and the value of the current source is V divided by R, and I have a resistance in parallel which is equal to R. Okay, this is a source transformation that we have already studied in the past. The idea of a source transformation is that at the terminals you will measure the same value of quantities. For example, if I were to put V and R and then I have some voltage or current at the terminals, and then when I do a source transformation, the basic quantities that are supplied at the terminals do not change, so the nature of the circuit remains the same. Whereas when we talk about duality, it is a mathematical transformation, so dual circuits are not equal to each other, they are different circuits. In the case of duality, what we are saying is that the equations that describe these circuits have a certain symmetry. For example, when I consider a series RLC circuit and I have applied a voltage source at the say terminal 1 prime, and we know that there is a current that we have to find out. So I want to find out what is the equation for the current. I know that in general the voltage source will have voltages which are then distributed across each of the individual elements. So by addition of voltages in series, I know that the total supply voltage Vs or supply voltage is the current times the resistance plus L di by dt plus 1 by C integral I dt. So that is the voltage drop across this loop. Now, if I were to mathematically find a dual of this equation, then all I could do is just in a very simple way. If I replace V with I, if I replace the inductor with a capacitor, and if I replace the resistor with a conductor, okay, then what will happen is that I will get the equation by just replacing the variables, that if I replaced V with I, and here also I has got replaced with V, R has got replaced with G, then L has got replaced with C, C has got replaced with L, I has got replaced with V, and here also I has got replaced with V. So these equations are duals. So just following this process, I can come up with a dual circuit. The dual circuit is that I is equal to GV plus C dV by dt plus 1 by L integral V dt. Now, if I want to draw the equivalent circuit, then I know that currents add up in parallel. So the total current is the sum of individual branch currents. So I should have three branches. One branch is the conductance branch, one branch is the capacitance branch, and one branch is the inductor branch. Now be careful that the uh, inductor I have drawn here has become a capacitor over here. This inductor is not the same as this inductor, okay, for the dual equation, because remember that L got replaced with C and C got replaced with L, okay. So what that means is I have an inductor over here. The value of the inductor is the same as the original C, okay. So supposing here it was 1 Henry, let's say inductor is 1 Henry, then here actually the capacitor is equal to 1 farad, and supposing this capacitor is 0.5 farad, then this inductor is equal to 0.5 Henry, okay, because the relationship is with this capacitor and this inductor. So the 0.5 farad capacitor got replaced by an inductor. So the value 0.5 just remains the same, okay, because that's what happened in our dual equations. The values V and I, although the voltage source is replaced by a current source, but the values remain the same. Supposing I had a 1 volt voltage source, then this will become 1 ampere. So the numerical values, they remain the same. Okay. So what was a series RLC circuit became a parallel RLC circuit over here. Except the R gets replaced by 1 by R, because the resistor gets replaced by a conductor, okay, which is the inverse of a resistance. Then one of the interesting things is there is a graphical way of finding out the uh, dual of a circuit. So we'll look at that next. Let us consider a circuit. Supposing just take a triangle, for example. So there is a voltage source. Let's say there's a resistor R1 and R2. What would be the dual for this? How do we go about finding the dual? Well, following the procedure that we had, we know that there is some current I which is flowing in the circuit, and I know that V is equal to I times R1 plus I times R2. Okay. Therefore, the dual will be what? I is equal to V into G1 plus V into G2. Okay. Where G1 is 1 by R1 and G2 is 1 by R2. Fine. I could even write that clearly. So V by R1 plus V by R2. So again, it's current, which is a sum of two branch currents. So I have a current source. And there is G1 and there is G2. And here indeed you can also see, we just talked about source transformation, and you can see the difference. Here I had some voltage in series with a resistance. The source transformation is the current is V by R, and there is a resistor R in parallel. So to make it clear, let's differentiate this. This is dual circuits. In the case of a dual circuit, you had a voltage. Actually, if you see, this circuit is the same as this triangle that I've drawn here. You just have two resistors, R1 and R2. So you could take R1 and R2 in series, right? So that is like R. So this is nothing but a voltage source in series with a resistance R, and the R is equal to R1 plus R2. But here, when you have a current source, the current source I, earlier the current source I was V by R, right? But here the value of the current source remains the same as the V originally. So supposing this is 2 volts, then this is 2 amperes. Supposing this were 2 volts, and let's say this is 2 ohms. Then here the current will become V by R, that is equal to 1 ampere. Okay, in a source transformation case. And the resistance is still 2 ohms. Okay. Whereas in this case it is different. Here you have conductances. Okay, it's not resistances. So that's basically the difference between a dual circuit and a source transformation. Now there is the graphical way of solving it. So if I go to the graphical way, so let's redraw the same circuit. Okay. And now I want to find the dual of this. Now the procedure I follow is that, remember that if you look at the symmetry over here, you can see that in the first case, or even let's see the earlier case over here, you can see that here I have one single loop, right? I just have one loop. Here I have two loops, okay? And here I have just two nodes. So I can say that I practically have only two nodes, right? Everything is happening between these two nodes. And the point is that here I had one single loop in the left figure, and in that left figure I had multiple nodes. So there were, each resistor is a branch. Now if you go by the network topology terminology, so you have a branch which are connected between two nodes, then you have another branch which is connected between two nodes, and then a third branch which is connected between two nodes. Okay, so your three branches which were in series have now become three branches which are in parallel. Okay, and what has happened is, because the three branches are in parallel, they are connected between two nodes. Okay, and one is a reference node, and then one is the node between which everything is connected. So here there is a single loop. So what happens in the graphical method is that there is always one reference node, and then every loop gets converted to one node. Okay, so within this loop you had three branches. Now with respect to the reference node, just to be clear, let's draw a reference node like this. Then with respect to the reference node, you have one single node. Okay, so the one loop got converted to one node. Let me show you what that means. If I draw the reference node over here, some reference node, every loop I said converts to one node. So if I take one node over here, then the way I go about connecting the dual is I draw lines between each node and the other node. Every branch should be treated independently. Okay, the way I drew this figure, I showed four branches. One branch has a voltage source, one branch has a resistor R1, one branch has a resistor R2. This last branch is redundant, okay? It has no meaning, but just for to make a point, I've drawn this. So the last branch is what? A short circuit. This is a short circuit because there's just a wire connecting V2 R2. Now I have to do the duals. So each element gets replaced now. So the loop got replaced by a node. The loop, initially I had a loop, it's got replaced by a node. Then the element R1 got replaced by a conductance. The element R2 got replaced by a conductance. The voltage source got replaced by a current source. The short circuit is replaced by open circuit. That means there is no path. So now let's draw the nodes. So let's call this node A. So I have node A and I have a ground terminal. Now I know between node A and ground there is a current source. Okay, then I know that there is 1 by R1. Then I know that there is 1 by R2. And finally I said that this path, short circuit, is replaced by open circuit. So when I say open circuit, it means I don't need to draw anything, right? Because they're not connected. Now you see it is the same figure as above. So I had this triangle, and in this triangle, I replaced it with a current source in parallel with two conductors. And by following this method, I replaced the voltage source with a current source and two conductors. Everybody clear so far? And again, remember that the dual circuit is not a source transformation, okay? So in the case of a source transformation, we showed that you are having a relationship very specifically that the voltage is replaced by a current, the current is replaced by V by R of magnitude V by R, the current source, and then the resistor remains the same. Whereas in a dual circuit, we showed that the voltage source becomes a current source of the same value, and the resistors, they actually become conductors. So you can see that the source transformation circuit and the dual circuit, these are completely different. Okay, so they're having different terminal quantities. This is the important point you have to keep in mind. However, in terms of the graphical duality, you can see that if I were to create a dual of a dual, I will get back the original circuit. Okay. Fine. And that is something you can try out. So if we were to take the second circuit over here, and you can work it out by putting the nodes. So what you would have to do is you would have to put nodes. I'll use a different color. So I have one node here, one node here, because now how many loops do I have? One loop, two loops, and then common node, which is going to be a ground terminal. I have to do the same thing again. And then what would I have to do? I would have to draw something here, something going from here to common, something going from here to common. Fine. And then I know that the current source becomes a voltage source. But here now I had two loops. Because I have two loops, so now I have two nodes. Okay. Earlier I had only one loop. Because I had one loop, my dual had only one extra node in addition to ground. Okay. Let's not worry about the ground or datum. We call it the datum. In addition to the datum node, you have only two nodes because you have two loops. And here in addition to the datum node, you have only one node because you had one loop. So if you were to take this dual again, what will you get? You will get the datum node as before. Then let's call these as nodes X and Y. So then I have two nodes X and Y. And between X and datum, there is a voltage source. Then between X and Y, there is a resistor whose value is equal to 1 by 1 by R. That is nothing but R1. 1 by 1 by R1. And between Y and datum, there is another resistor which is 1 over R2. That's R2. So you see, we reconstructed the same circuit. So that's why the dual of a dual gives you back the original circuit. Fine. Now, you could also apply this to larger circuits. Okay, so let's take any one example. Let's go with something that looks like this. Let's say I have a 5-volt voltage source and then it's connected to some resistor. So this is something I would like you all to work out. I hope you have pen and paper with you. So 1 farad capacitor, So I'm just taking this from a textbook example, and if we were to follow the procedure that we have, that is the graphical procedure, then what kind of circuit will we get? Okay. So can you see how to do this kind of circuit? So this is the original circuit. Find the dual. So this is the kind of question you may get in the exam. Find the dual of the given circuit. So how many loops do we have here? And we need a datum node. So how do we go about doing the circuit? Let's label the nodes first. Let's call them A, B, C. So I have my datum. Then I have, I don't know what A, B, and C orientation is going to look like. So I'm just distributing them as far away from each other as possible. And now I have to do the connections. So I know between A and ground, there is a voltage source. Between the A and datum, there is this one. Then between A and B, I have this capacitor. Between A and C, I have this resistor. Then between B and C, I have this. Now you can see that I can draw many lines. In fact, this is a good exercise to consider. Normally what you do is, the way we do the graphical procedure is, first we try to find out the connections of all the nodes to ground, okay, to datum. So I know from C to datum there is this capacitor, and from B to datum there is this inductor. Now one may ask the question that, could not I drawn, say, going from B to C, could have I not drawn something that is, how to draw it without cluttering it? So can you follow the color? So supposing I draw something like this. That's also a connection, right? I'm connecting two nodes. I'm connecting B and C. And when I draw this line, then you can see that from B I'm cutting the 2 Henry and I'm cutting the 3 Farad, and then I'm coming to C. So this kind of connection is not correct. From every node to the other node, you should cut only one branch. Okay, that is the rule. So lines should cut only one branch. Okay, lines between nodes or lines connecting nodes should cut only one branch. Okay, so that's the important point. Therefore, from A through the 5 volts, I can connect to the ground. From C, I can directly connect to ground using the 3 Farad. From B, I can connect to ground using the 2 Henry. Okay, but I cannot connect B and C through 2 Henry and 3 Farad because I'm cutting two branches. I can connect B and C through the 3 ohms because there I'm cutting only one branch. I can connect A and B through 1 Farad because I'm connecting one branch. I could not draw a line that goes from A like this. Okay, because if I want to reach B from A to B through the 3 ohm resistor, then I invariably end up cutting either this branch or some other branch, right? I could have even drawn the line like this. So these lines are not allowed, okay? Because the first line, which I'm drawing from A to B, that is cutting the 3 ohm resistor as well as this line over here. So I cannot cut two branches. Similarly, the second line from A to B, it is cutting this branch as well as it is cutting this branch. So again, I cannot cut two branches. Fine. So with this procedure clear, you should always be clear that every node should connect to the other node through one branch by cutting one branch. Now, what are the values we are going to get? So can you draw the tell me between A and datum, B and datum, C and datum? What are the elements I'm supposed to get now in the dual circuit? So I know that between A and datum, 5 volts will become 5 amperes. So I have a 5 ampere current source. Okay. And in the first case, I said that there is a positive voltage here, so that polarity is maintained. So it's a 5 amps and this would be the positive. Okay. Then what else? Between A and datum, I also have a conductor of 1 by R. So the resistance gets replaced by a conductance. So this value is 2 Siemens, okay, which is the unit of conductance. The magnitudes remain the same, but the resistance becomes a conductance. Okay. Then what do I get between A and here, A and here? What about between A and B? So between A and B, what do I have? It was 1 farad capacitor. Now it becomes, let me check whether you guys are on, because I cannot hear anybody. Is everybody able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
You're able to see also, right? Because this is a fun thing, so I thought you all will be answering quickly. So what goes between A and B? It's an inductor, right? Earlier it was a capacitor, but it's now an inductor of the same value. So it is a 1 Henry inductor. Then what is between B and C? Earlier it was 3 ohms and now it is 3 Siemens. What about between C and A? We had 5 ohms. That becomes 5 Siemens. Then what about between C and datum? 3 farad will become 3 Henry. And between anything else left? B and datum. We had 2 Henry. Becomes 2 farad. Fine. Is everything looking correct? Have we covered everything? So we had 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. And each loop got replaced by a node. Okay. A, B and C. And we took one datum node which is outside the circuit. Always the datum node is kept outside the circuit. And then we are connecting all the nodes to the datum node as well as to each other. And then the number of branches that are being cut are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fine. So we have found the dual of the two circuits. It is also important to keep in mind that when we said that I'm replacing each loop with a node, each loop is getting replaced with a node, then the way we are drawing these loops is possible because we are dealing with what? We are dealing with a class of circuits called planar circuits. Remember? Planar circuits means the circuits can be represented in 2 dimensions. Okay? If the circuit cannot be represented in 2 dimensions, then we will have a problem. So there you cannot use the duality principle. So let's take the example. Supposing we discussed in the past that I have a circuit. Now I'm replacing all the elements with just lines, okay, with their branches. So if I have a circuit which looks like this and another line which cuts across, then this circuit is still a dual circuit. This circuit is still a planar circuit, okay, because I can just take this line and draw outside. So then I can say that I have one loop, two loop, and three loops. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So first, second, and third loop. But if I were to have a complicated circuit, say, I think last time we drew this. And let's say we have something like this. One line going here, one line going like this, and one line going like this, and say something going like this. All kinds of complications. Now if I want to make this a planar circuit, to see if I represent this as a planar circuit, then I would be able to draw the original one line like this. Then one line will go out like this. Then there is this line which is jumping, and that can be drawn like this. Then there is what else? This line, right? That we have not represented. Now that line is kind of stuck because if I let me draw it in red. So let me draw this also in red over here. So this line, which is going from this node to this node, either if it goes like this, it is cutting. If I try to draw it from outside, it is still cutting. So this line cannot connect the two nodes without jumping over something or the other. So invariably it jumps over something. Okay. So this is a non-planar circuit. Planar network and non-planar network. Now the challenge I have is if I want to create the dual, then how do I put the dots? So here I could have put a dot. Each loop is converted into one node. But here I have one loop outside, one loop here. Now the problem is when I put the nodes here, then I have multiple loops in the sense that this red branch, it's part of this loop as well as it's part of another loop. So there are like multiple currents flowing through the branch. Okay, it is part of multiple loops. It's not just part of two loops. If you consider a planar circuit, every branch is a part of two loops. Okay, that means supposing I am considering this branch over here, it is part of this loop and it is part of this loop. Therefore, when I want to find the dual of it, I take the nodes. Each loop is now represented by a new node. I connect those nodes, and if I connect the nodes, then I find out that this branch is getting cut by this line. Okay, and therefore I find the dual of it. But here the problem is this branch is cutting across multiple node connections. So there is a loop here, there is a loop here. So as this is a part of multiple nodes, then it's not possible to draw one element between multiple nodes, because finally if I have two nodes, right, let's say I have loop 1 and loop 2, I've cut them and then I've drawn the element as something between two nodes. But supposing I have an element which is common to loop 1, loop 2, and loop 3, then I have 3 nodes. If I have 3 nodes, how can I draw one element between 3 nodes? That's the problem. Okay, I hope you are able to see that. Otherwise, try to think over it for a while. But the fundamental problem with a non-planar circuit is that you have more than 2 nodes. Okay, in a planar circuit, every loop gets converted to one node when you're doing the duality, and therefore between 2 nodes I can draw an element. But supposing one element is common to 3 loops, then I will have 3 nodes. Now how can I draw one element between 3 nodes? That's not possible. Therefore it does not work for non-planar circuits. Fine. So that's about it for duality. I will also anyway. So any questions in the class today? Otherwise I'll stop the recording.